Ah, the 4th of July. A time-honored tradition of cookouts, parades, and accidentally burning your hand on a sparkler.
Ow!
Can anybody tell me why we celebrate the 4th of July? Anybody? Anyone? Yes, Timmy. Because the 4th of July was the day that the Declaration of Independence was signed. Yes, you would think so, because that's what most textbooks tell you, except for the part where they're wrong. In fact, the Declaration of Independence wasn't signed in the month of July at all. That's just one of the many things people get wrong about the Declaration of Independence. On April 19th, 1775, the first shots of the American Revolution were fired at Lexington and Concord. The revolution was on. But what were they fighting for? This might sound crazy, but the colonies weren't in agreement on that. Most of the colonists agreed that they were underrepresented in the British government, and a lot of colonists weren't happy about taxation without representation. But the colonies couldn't agree on what to do about it. Some colonists believed that they could convince Britain to give them representation in the British government, but a few believed that the colonies should rule themselves as their own country. About a fifth of colonists actually thought that the British hadn't done anything wrong at all. To make matters worse, pretty much everyone agreed that getting into a war with Great Britain was a bad idea. Britain was twice as large, with the best army and navy in the world. Meanwhile, the colonies didn't even have an official army yet. Taking on Britain would be like a Chihuahua picking a fight with a Rottweiler, if the Rottweiler had cannons and an English accent.
Touché, old chap.
Representatives from all of the colonies met in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, for what became known as the Second Continental Congress. Most of their meetings were about how to lead the war effort, raising armies and appointing ambassadors. They also attempted to make peace with Britain. On July 8th, 1775, they sent a document called the Olive Branch Petition to King George III, asking for the colonies to be treated as equal to the people who lived in Great Britain. In August of 1775, they got their response. Quote, "We do accordingly strictly charge and command all our officers, as well civil as military, and all other our obedient and loyal subjects, to use their utmost endeavors to withstand and suppress such a rebellion, and to disclose and make known all treasons and traitorous conspiracies which they shall know to be against us, our crown, and dignity." End quote. In other words, LOL, no. After the response, the question wasn't if the colonies would declare independence, but when. On June 7, 1776, Henry Lee of Virginia proposed to the Congress that the 13 colonies declare independence. A lot of debate followed. While they were debating, Congress agreed that someone should start writing this Declaration of Independence should they end up declaring independence. 5 members were a part of the committee to write the document: John Adams of Massachusetts, Benjamin Franklin of Pennsylvania, Thomas Jefferson of Virginia, Robert R. Livingston of New York, and Roger Sherman of Connecticut. Thomas Jefferson was chosen as the primary writer. Jefferson based most of the Declaration off of Enlightenment ideas, such as the rights of people and the role of government. Most of this was based off of the 1689 English Declaration of Rights, which had explained why England had overthrown King James II. But most people remember his line borrowed and rewritten from John Locke the most. Quote, "We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness." End quote. The committee presented the document to the whole Congress on June 28, 1776. After 4 days of editing, Congress voted to declare independence on July 2nd, 1776. Wait, so are you saying that the Declaration of Independence was signed on July 2nd, 1776? Nope, it was only voted on. In fact, the Declaration wasn't even signed by anyone until August 2nd by John Hancock. Yeah, that guy, in case you couldn't see it. The only reason we celebrate Independence Day on July 4th is because that's the official day it was announced in pamphlets and newspapers. Even John Adams wrote to his wife, quote, I am apt to believe that it, July 2nd, will be celebrated by succeeding generations as the Great Anniversary Festival." End quote. Too bad Adams, like the rest of us, got the date wrong.
Huh.
So next time your family celebrates Independence Day, maybe you can convince them to break out the sparklers early. Ow! How do you even hold this thing?